Assalamu alaikum, my beloved brothers and sisters. Please listen to this with your heart. There is one verse in the Qur'an, a verse that does not just speak to you, it holds you, comforts you, and wraps your pain like a warm hug from Allah Himself. If your chest feels heavy, if you've cried quietly where nobody could see, if you've been pretending to be strong while your heart is breaking, then this may be the most important message Allah sends you today. Because this verse was not revealed to break you, it was revealed to lift you, to heal you, to remind you that you are never suffering alone. And if you stay with me until the end, you will feel this verse in a way that may change your night and maybe even your life. When pain makes you feel invisible, my beloved brothers and sisters, one of the hardest moments in life is when pain settles inside the heart so quietly yet so heavily that you begin to feel as though the entire world has moved on without noticing what you are carrying. You smile at people, you greet them, you carry out your responsibilities, but deep inside you wonder, does anyone truly see what I'm going through? It is a lonely place, a hidden battlefield that nobody else understands. And sometimes you start believing that your struggles are too small for anyone to care about or too big for anyone to fix. There are days when your tears become your only companion and nights where your thoughts grow louder than your prayers. You look normal on the outside, but inside your heart is whispering, Ya Allah, how long do I have to hold on like this? This loneliness does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you have failed. It only means you are human, and humans feel deeply, especially when life becomes heavy. But here is the beauty, my brothers and sisters. Even when you feel invisible to the people around you, you are never invisible to Allah. He saw the pain before you even understood it. He heard the dua you made with trembling lips. He noticed the tears you wiped away quickly so others wouldn't ask questions. Every moment of struggle you went through quietly was witnessed by the one who never forgets, never sleeps, and never leaves a heart unattended. People may overlook your suffering. They may not know how hard you are trying to stay patient, to stay strong, to stay hopeful. But Allah knows exactly how many times you wanted to break but didn't. He knows the weight on your chest, the knot in your throat, and the disappointment that settled inside your soul. Not a single sigh escapes your chest without Allah knowing the story behind it. This chapter of pain you are experiencing is not a punishment, and it is not a sign of abandonment. It is a hidden classroom where Allah teaches the deepest lessons. Lessons about resilience, dependence on Him, and the truth that real strength comes not from pretending everything is fine, but from turning to Him when everything is falling apart. And before He reveals relief, He reveals something even more precious. He shows you that He has always been by your side even when everyone else disappeared. The verse that holds your heart the way no one else can, my beloved brothers and sisters, after all the moments in life where you felt alone, misunderstood, overwhelmed, or quietly breaking inside, Allah places before you a verse so gentle, so comforting, and so filled with divine closeness that it feels less like a sentence and more like a warm embrace from the Lord, who knows your heart better than anyone else. This is not just a verse you read. It is a verse that holds you, settles into your chest, and speaks directly to the parts of you that you keep hidden from the world. Allah says, indeed, Allah is with the patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2-153. Take a moment and imagine the depth of this promise. Not Allah is watching the patient. Not Allah rewards the patient. Not even Allah loves the patient. Although all of those are true, but something far more intimate, far more healing. Allah says He is with the patient, with you in your sorrow, with you in your confusion, with you in your silent struggles, with you in the moments you thought nobody understood the heaviness in your chest. This is not distant support. This is closeness, companionship, protection, love and mercy flowing directly from the one who never abandons a believer. When the world becomes too loud and your heart becomes too tired, this verse becomes a reminder that Allah stands beside you in a way no human ever can. People may comfort you with words, but Allah comforts you with His presence. People may leave when things get difficult, but Allah moves closer when your heart begins to sink. People may not understand the depth of your wounds, but Allah knows the story behind every single pain, even the ones you cannot express. Every time you held your tears back, every time you wanted to scream but stayed silent, every time you swallowed pain so that others wouldn't see you breaking, Allah recorded it, honored it, and wrapped it in His mercy. And with this verse, He tells you that your patience is not ignored. It is witnessed, embraced, and accompanied by Him. My brothers and sisters, think of the moments in your life when you felt you had no strength left. Think of the times your dua felt weak, your hope felt thin, and you wondered whether Allah was hearing you at all. This verse answers every one of those doubts. Allah is with you, especially at the exact moment you feel most alone. You are not carrying your burden by yourself. You are not walking through your hardship without support. You are not fighting your battles with your own strength alone. Allah is holding your heart even when you don't feel it. Allah is guiding your steps even when you can't see the path. Allah is planning your relief even when you think nothing is changing. This verse is so beautiful because it transforms your pain from something that crushes you into something that connects you to Allah. It tells you that patience is not just waiting for things to change. It is knowing that Allah is working on your behalf in ways you cannot see. It is understanding that every closed door, every delayed blessing, every unanswered dua is surrounded by Allah's wisdom and His timing is always perfect. And when you truly allow this verse to sit inside your heart, your pain stops feeling like a punishment and begins to feel like a powerful reminder that Allah has never left you, not even for a moment. This verse is a hug from Allah, an invitation to breathe, to relax your shoulders and to trust Him more deeply than ever before. Your pain is not a punishment. It is a path hand chosen for your heart. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest misunderstandings we fall into during hardship is the belief that pain is a sign of rejection, that difficulty means we have failed, that our tears are somehow proof that Allah is displeased with us. But nothing could be further from the truth. If you look at the lives of the people Allah loved the most, the prophets, you will find that every one of them walked through valleys of pain before they ever reached mountains of blessings. Not because they were weak, but because the journey of the heart toward Allah is often paved with trials that reveal strengths we never knew we had. Pain, my dear brothers and sisters, is not a wall that blocks you from Allah. It is a doorway that leads you closer to Him. It softens your heart in ways comfort never could. It removes arrogance, ego, and attachment to this world. It teaches you to lean on Allah with a sincerity you never tasted before. When everything around you feels like it's falling apart, that is often the moment Allah brings you back to Him gently but firmly, so you realize that true peace was never found in people, positions, money, or plans. It was always found in Him. Many people ask quietly, why me? Why is my heart being tested? Why does Allah allow me to go through something that feels so heavy? But my beloved brothers and sisters, do you not know that Allah only tests those whose hearts He wants to raise, purify, strengthen, or elevate? If pain were a punishment, the prophets would have never been tested. If hardship meant Allah was displeased with you, then the most beloved to Allah would have lived the easiest lives. But they didn't, and that tells you something profound. Your trials are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of attention. Allah is working on your heart in a deeply personal way. We often think the test is the difficulty itself, but many times the real test is hidden within the way you respond. Do you hold on to hope when everything looks hopeless? Do you remember Allah even when your heart feels numb? Do you continue to pray even when you don't feel strong? Do you still whisper your dua even when it feels unanswered? These are not small things. These are signs of a heart that Allah Himself is shaping. And here is another beautiful truth. Your pain is never wasted. Every tear you shed is counted. Every heartbreak you felt is recorded. Every moment you stayed patient, even when it hurt, is stored with Allah. And He will return it to you in the form of blessings so beautiful that you will look back one day and say, now I understand why I had to go through it. Sometimes the pain you are going through is protecting you from something you can't see. Sometimes the heartbreak is saving you from a future that would have destroyed you. Sometimes the delay is actually Allah giving you something far better than what you asked for. And sometimes the difficulty is not meant to change your situation, it is meant to change you. My beloved brothers and sisters, imagine a seed. Before it becomes a tree, it is buried in the darkness of the soil. It sits in silence, surrounded by pressure, covered in dirt. But that darkness is not its end, it is its beginning. Without that pressure, without that covering, without that hidden struggle, the seed would never break open and grow into something magnificent. Likewise, your pain is not burial, it is planting. Allah is preparing you, shaping you, strengthening you, so that when relief comes, and it will come, you will rise in a way you never thought possible. So do not mistake the season of hardship for the end of your story. Allah is still writing, still crafting, still rearranging things in your favor. And when He brings you out of this pain, and He will, you will understand that this chapter was necessary, meaningful, and filled with divine mercy, even if it didn't feel like it in the moment. Your pain is not a punishment. Your pain is a pathway chosen for you, refined for you, and guided by the one who loves you more than you love yourself. Allah knows the weight you carry even when you yourself cannot put it into words. My beloved brothers and sisters, there comes a moment in every believer's life where the heart becomes so overwhelmed that even expressing the pain becomes difficult. You sit there, staring at the ceiling, staring at the sky, staring at the floor, searching for a way to explain what is happening inside your chest. Yet every sentence feels incomplete and every thought feels tangled. You want to speak, but the grief inside you has no language. You want to cry, but the tears have learned how to hide. You want someone to understand, but you cannot even understand it yourself. And it is in those moments, those raw, quiet, emotionally suffocating moments, that Allah reminds you of something so powerful, it can change the way you see your struggles forever. Allah knows the burden you carry even before you can describe it, even before you can name it, even before you can comprehend it. He knows the reasons behind your sadness more clearly than you do. He sees the storm inside you more accurately than any human ever could. And He understands not only the pain itself, but the story behind it, the history behind it, and the purpose behind it. You may have nights where you lie awake replaying conversations, heartbreaks, disappointments, betrayals, fears, failures and losses, but Allah does not need you to explain a single detail. He was there when the wound was created. He was there when your heart cracked silently. He was there when you forced a smile while holding yourself together with threads thinner than hope. He knows the pain intimately, because He is closer to you than your own soul. People, no matter how kind they are, can only understand what you manage to express. They see your tears but not the heaviness behind them. They hear your words but not the ache behind them. They notice your silence but not the storm behind it. But Allah sees the moments you break inside without shedding a tear. Allah hears the dua you whisper in your mind because you don't have the strength to say it out loud. Allah watches every step you take while trying to hold yourself upright, even though your heart feels like it's collapsing inward. And this is one of the most beautiful gifts Allah gives to a believer. You never have to explain yourself to Him. You don't need perfect words. You don't need long prayers. You don't need to craft sentences. All you need is your heart turning to Him, even if all it says is, Ya Allah, I am tired. That tiny whisper, that fragile moment of surrender is known by Allah, loved by Allah, and responded to by Allah in ways you might not see immediately but will feel when the time is right. Sometimes Allah allows the weight on your heart to grow, not because He wants to crush you, but because He wants you to finally put it down in the only place where it can be safely held with Him. As long as you try to carry everything alone, the burden becomes heavier. But the moment you say, Ya Allah, I cannot do this without You, the burden begins to lighten, not because the problem disappears instantly, but because the one who controls all ease steps in and takes over the parts you cannot handle. My beloved brothers and sisters, think about how many times in your life you thought you reached your limit, yet somehow you are still here. You survived nights you thought would break you. You walked through days you thought you would never escape. You healed from situations you once believed would leave you permanently damaged. How? Because Allah was holding you through it all. His support was not loud, but it was powerful. His help was not always visible, but it was constant. His presence was not always felt, but it never left you. Every difficulty you have endured has been measured, monitored, observed, and protected by Allah. He did not let it be heavier than what your heart could slowly grow stronger through. He did not allow it to be more painful than what your soul could one day rise from. And He certainly did not let it destroy you, because He knows the future. He has written for you a future that your mind cannot imagine, but your heart will one day thank Him for. Your weight is known, your tears are counted, your silence is heard, your struggles are recorded. And above all, your heart is seen by Allah even when you believe its pain is invisible. When you feel you cannot go on, Allah carries what you cannot carry. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are moments in life where exhaustion is not just physical, it is emotional, spiritual, and deeply internal. You come to a point where your heart whispers, I don't know how much more I can take. You wake up and the world feels heavy again. You look around and nothing seems to change. You make dua, you try to stay strong, you try to be patient, yet deep inside you feel a quiet collapse, a weariness that sleep cannot fix and conversations cannot heal. There is a type of pain that does not shout, it drains you slowly. You function, you continue your responsibilities, you smile when needed, but something inside you has grown tired of being strong for too long. You start wondering whether Allah is hearing your prayers, whether your tears make any difference, whether anything in your life will shift, or whether you are destined to remain in this emotional storm. But here is the turning point. My precious brothers and sisters, a truth so powerful that it has brought countless believers from darkness back into hope. Allah never lets a heart reach a breaking point unless He is about to rebuild it in a way that is stronger, cleaner, and filled with a new type of beauty. When you feel you cannot continue, it is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign that Allah is preparing to carry what you cannot carry anymore. There are burdens you drag every day that Allah never intended for you to hold forever. There are memories you replay that Allah wants to replace with something better. There are wounds you keep reopening that Allah wants to finally close. And there are people, situations, and fears you cling to that Allah wants to gently remove from your heart so that He can fill it with something far more peaceful. You may think you are alone in your weakness, but Allah sees a different picture. He sees a servant who has reached the point where their heart becomes soft enough to rely on Him completely. He sees someone who finally realizes that true strength does not come from pretending you're okay. It comes from admitting to Allah that you are not okay and trusting that He will make things okay again. When a believer collapses in front of Allah, it is not defeat, it is transformation. My beloved brothers and sisters, think about all the times in your life where you felt you had nothing left to give, yet Allah quietly placed comfort in your heart from sources you never expected. Think of the du'as you once whispered with trembling lips, thinking nobody heard them, and then months or years later, Allah answered them at a moment you needed them most. Think of the situations you thought you would never heal from, yet today they no longer break you the way they once did. This is proof that Allah carries you even when you don't realize it. Sometimes Allah allows you to feel weak so you can finally experience His strength. Sometimes He allows you to feel lost so you can find guidance only He can give. Sometimes He lets the dunya disappoint you so that your heart learns to depend on Him alone. You do not have to be strong every day. You do not have to smile every day. You do not have to pretend your heart is light when it is heavy. Allah does not need you to hide your pain. He needs you to hand it over to Him. When you let go, He begins the healing. When you surrender, He begins the restoration. When you admit that you are tired, Allah begins to show you that He is enough. And here is a promise that has carried countless broken hearts through their darkest nights. When Allah sees you reaching your limit, He does not watch you fall. He lifts you, not always by changing your circumstances immediately, but by strengthening your heart in ways you cannot explain, by softening the ache, by calming the panic, by sending small signs, small mercies, small moments of relief that remind you, I am still with you. Your story is not stuck. Your life is not over. Your state is not permanent. Your breaking is not the end. It is simply Allah preparing a new chapter, one that begins when you finally say, Ya Allah, I cannot walk this path alone anymore. And Allah responds without you hearing it, but your soul feeling it. You never were alone. When Allah writes your relief, nothing in this world can delay it. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful truths a believer must hold tightly is this: relief from Allah does not follow the timing of the world. It follows the timing of His wisdom. We cry because we want the pain to end today. We beg because we want the situation to change now. We break because we do not understand why things seem delayed, unanswered, or stuck. But Allah, in His infinite knowledge and mercy, is preparing something so precise, so perfect, and so tailored to your heart that if you knew what He was arranging behind the scenes, you would fall into sujood out of gratitude instead of worry. Every hardship you experience has a clock attached to it. A divinely chosen expiration date written long before the hardship even entered your life. And no amount of fear, panic, or sadness can extend a test beyond the moment Allah has decided it will end. Just as the dawn arrives exactly when Allah commands it, your relief will arrive exactly when He decides it is best for you. Not too early, not too late, but at the perfect time when your heart is ready to receive it. Sometimes the delay is not a denial. It is protection. Sometimes the silence is not abandonment, it is preparation. Sometimes the waiting is not punishment. It is Allah softening your heart, realigning your direction, and planting within you a strength you never would have discovered without this experience. My dear brothers and sisters, how many times in your life did you desperately want something, convinced that your happiness depended on it, yet Allah withheld it from you, only for you to look back months or years later and realize that if He had given it to you, it would have harmed you, broken you, or led you away from Him? And how many times did you cry for a door that Allah refused to open, only for Him to guide you to a door so much better, so much safer, and so much more filled with barakah? This is the nature of Allah's planning. He gives when the heart is ready, and He withholds when the heart is fragile. He delays because the path is not clear yet. He slows things down because rushing towards something wrong is far more dangerous than waiting for something right. He lets you feel uncertainty because certainty would make you forget Him. He allows you to feel weak because strength without humility becomes pride. And through all of this, He is shaping you, polishing you, preparing you, and raising you in ways you cannot see. Just as a jeweler places a diamond in fire not to destroy it but to reveal its brilliance, Allah places your heart in test not to break it but to purify it and prepare it for the blessings He has written for you. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is a hidden mercy in your struggle, a mercy that will become clear only when Allah wants it to. Perhaps the thing you're waiting for requires someone else's heart to change first. Perhaps the blessing you want needs certain circumstances to shift. Perhaps Allah is waiting for you to become stronger, more patient, more grateful, more aware of Him, so that when He finally gives you the relief, it becomes a source of long-lasting peace instead of temporary happiness. And here lies one of the most comforting truths in the Qur'an. Allah never says, be patient and I might be with you. He says He is with the patient right now, this second, in the middle of your pain, in the middle of your confusion, in the middle of the chapter you wish would end. His presence is not something you earn later. It is something He grants you while you endure. You might not feel it yet, but Allah is arranging your relief with precision. He is guiding the people who will help you. He is clearing obstacles you don't even know are there. He is protecting you from hidden dangers you would never see. He is shaping your future in ways you will only understand once the test ends. And when your relief finally arrives, and it will arrive with a beauty that erases years of pain, you will look back and realize that every delay was a blessing, every hurdle was a protection, every tear was an investment, and every moment of patience was building a future far sweeter than what you were praying for. Your task is not to understand the timing. Your task is to trust the one who controls it. Let this verse become the light that walks with you through every darkness. My beloved brothers and sisters, after everything you have carried, after every silent battle you have fought, after every moment where your heart felt exhausted and your soul felt stretched beyond its limit, Allah now brings you to a verse that is not simply meant to be read, but to be lived with, walked with, breathed with, and healed by. This verse is not just guidance, it is companionship. It is not just information, it is divine comfort. It is not just words, it is Allah embracing your heart with His mercy. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. 2 to 153. This is not a verse for a moment.